Hello, I'm Nate the Effing Great, and what did I just book? Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to another edition of, a new special edition called What Did I Just Book, where I take something that had a chance to be really good, but unfortunately fell subpar, or WWE or wrestling just effed it up, and I tell you how I would do it because I'm an effing genius, no ding required. Of course, guys, I am Nate the Effing Great here for the Elite Ringside Network and Change the F Up, you guys. Of course, you can always find us on our Facebook fan pages, Elite Ringside Network, ER Network 24/7, which is also our Twitter handle, and of course, Change the F Up 1776. Give both those pages a like, and we definitely appreciate all the support that you guys have. So this is going to actually be a little bit interesting because I'm not only going to be doing a rebooking that I think should have happened, but also I'm going to give you guys a top 10 list of 10 matches that you should definitely see before the Payback event that happens on April 30th. I'm really wishing I checked it. Yeah, it was April 30th. Yes! Score one for Nate the Effing Great, especially going into this weekend. Alright, so let's start off with the rebooking. So this is going to be an interesting booking because I don't think anybody has really thought about this. And I thought this guy really has been overlooked, and he's still overlooked even to this day. That being the year of Dolph Ziggler. And a lot of people are saying, well, he never really had a full-fledged year. Not true. There was actually a time back in 2014 where that year almost just blew into epic proportions. I mean, if you remember Battleground, he came so close to winning the Intercontinental title, but he lost it to The Miz. And then at SummerSlam, he won it from The Miz, lost it to The Miz at the Night of Champions event, if I'm not mistaken, then won the title back. This was, of course, during the Damien Mizdow times, so the stunt double thing was just awesome, and Damien Mizdow was amazing. Definitely one of the best works that he's done in WWE. But that can be something saved for a future rebooking. And then after Dolph Ziggler won the Intercontinental title, he would go on to basically help lead Team Cena to winning against Team Authority and casting them out of the spotlight and into the shadows for about roughly a month. But in that month, Dolph Ziggler was still one of the big stars that everybody kept their eyes on. I mean, he had a tremendous TLC matchup at the TLC pay-per-view against Luke Harper, which was an amazing matchup. I recommend anybody who's not a fan of Luke Harper, definitely check out this matchup first, and you will see how an incredible single star he is, and then just see how he's progressed from there. I would also say that Dolph Ziggler still did very well up until he got bashed in the head by Bad News Barrett and lost the Intercontinental title, would eventually get fired, and then get rehired, and then they did absolutely nothing with him. Oh, wait, there was that Kiss Me Arse match between him and Sheamus. That was a matchup that everybody wanted to forget. And how could anybody forget the epic headbutt that he did to Sheamus that just busted him open at Payback? And that was just a great moment. And from there, Dolph Ziggler just continued going down. And oh God, can we not talk about the fact that there was that weird little love square triangle thing between him, Lana, Rusev, Summer Rae, which did absolutely nothing, and social media definitely kind of killed it. Oh boy. So again, there was a great opportunity to make Dolph Ziggler into a huge mega star here, but unfortunately, again, they just found a way to bring Dolph Ziggler back down to just being absolutely nothing. The fans still cared about him, and even now people are just like, oh man, hey, well, there's still some people that care about Dolph Ziggler, but there's not very many people that want to get behind him. I'm looking forward to him versus Nakamura, but it's going to be one of those matches where I'm just like, well, Dolph Ziggler's going to lose. They're only doing it because he's a really good seller. Okay. So that's going to happen. Hopefully they at least make him look really good. We'll see. So the year of Dolph Ziggler, I could definitely do it better. So basically, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to not do like a full-fledged year from January to December. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start at Survivor Series 2014 and end at Survivor Series 2015. I just think that that's the most logical point right now because unfortunately it could have been, the Summer of Punk, but unfortunately they didn't start it until November. So I'm just going to give Dolph Ziggler a year to really create something amazing. So let's just see what happens here and hope for the best. So we start off at Survivor Series 2014. Definitely wouldn't change anything there. The only thing I would change, and I'm taking this from the Adam Lampier debut of Sting deal, I would definitely have Sting, beat Triple H, hit him with a Scorpion Death Drop, and leave. And then Dolph Ziggler hits the zigzag on Seth Rollins for the 1-2-3, and just really make that solo point all about Dolph Ziggler. Don't make it about, Sting helping out and putting them out of control. Just really focus on the fact that it's Dolph Ziggler is the reason. So the Authority is out of power. Dolph Ziggler feels a lot more free, and he just feels very happy with things as they are. I wouldn't change anything about the TLC pay-per-view match, where I would still have Luke Harper and Dolph Ziggler battle for the IC title in a ladder match. It just seems to make more sense to just keep that the same because that matchup was awesome. It was nice. I would keep it. So that matchup happens. Dolph Ziggler still retains, and he retains against Luke Harper. Following week, he comes out and he thanks the fans for all the support, for all the love, for all of that, and just says, it's because of you fans that I am, as big a star as I am today, and that I couldn't make it to this point without you. Just really doing like a kind of a generic babyface deal. But this is going to be also the same show in which Seth Rollins forces John Cena to bring back the Authority. So it's going to be a feel-good moment, but then at the end it's just like, oh, right, this happened. So, oh, boy. So, of course, the new year happens, and Dolph Ziggler is in this little mini feud with Bad News Barrett. Now, obviously that happened in real life, but we're going to change things up starting here. So, Dolph Ziggler actually retains the Intercontinental Championship against Bad News Barrett. He's celebrating with the fans, and he's backstage. Later on in the show, there's a camera that goes and finds Dolph Ziggler just beaten down, and he just looks like he has just been dismantled. He just looks like he's been destroyed. Doctors are attending to him. They're just thinking, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Everybody's just, trying to figure out what's going on here. Later on in the show, of course, we get still that scene of the Authority there with John Cena, with Ryback, and with Eric Rowan. No sign of Dolph Ziggler, but you notice that Triple H actually is holding the Intercontinental Championship belt. So they're getting ready to start the firing process where they're going to try and fire them one by one by one. And Triple H even says, well, I would love to have Dolph Ziggler here so I can announce that he is stripped of the Intercontinental Championship and then fire his ass. And, while doing that thing because, I am the game and I am the king of kings and I am just the greatest and I am the Authority and I have a big nose and brr. So Triple H is just about ready to fire Eric Rowan and Ryback when then you hear Dolph Ziggler's music hits. Dolph Ziggler comes out and he is limping. He is just in a bad way. It's just one of those moments where he's basically saying, you're not taking that title over my dead body. So Dolph Ziggler, he gets in the ring. He is just completely just meshed up. You see his just T-shirt is torn. He's holding onto his neck because apparently, according to Spencer and Max, that's the best thing that he's done is that he can get kicked in the gut and he'll still be holding onto his neck because reasons, I guess. Somehow his stomach and his legs and everything are just connected to his neck. I don't understand the logic. I'm not even going to question it at this point. So Dolph Ziggler gets in the ring, and he looks dead in the eyes of Triple H. and Triple H looks back, and everybody's just like, oh, let's go Ziggler, let's go Ziggler. They're getting ready. They're just like so pumped up. They're thinking, oh, we're going to see Dolph Ziggler versus Triple H. It's going to be awesome. When all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. 3 super kicks delivered by Dolph Ziggler. 1 to Ryback, 1 to Rowan, 1 to Cena. And everybody is just in shock. They're just like, wait, Dolph Ziggler's fine. What's going on here? And Dolph Ziggler just has this look of just disdain, a bit of anger in his eyes. And Triple H, all he does is he chuckles. He puts the Intercontinental Championship back on the shoulder of Dolph Ziggler, and he pats him on the back. The final image you see is all 3 men laid out, and Dolph Ziggler is just standing there while the Authority fires Eric Rowan, Ryback, and John Cena. That is something that would definitely make people think, whoa, I never thought that they would actually fire John Cena. So Dolph Ziggler comes out, and he is doing an interview with Michael Cole. Michael Cole, of course, because this is the only thing that Michael Cole's good at, is actually asking hard-hitting questions. And he asked the question, why did you do what you did? Why did you, turn your back on your friends, on your fans? Why did you do that? Why'd you even have that promo a couple of weeks ago where you said that? And Dolph Ziggler just says, I don't have any friends and I don't have any fans. Yes, they helped me get to the fame, but when it came to actual success here in WWE, that was accomplished by me, by being the best. And you can definitely mention the fact that, look where the Spirit Squad got me. It got me nowhere. He can mention the fact that, he was a caddy boy. That got him nowhere. When he became Dolph Ziggler and he was out for himself, that's what made him a former Intercontinental Champion, a former United States Champion, a former World Champion. So he is out in it for himself, and he knows that he is the only one who is going to make himself into a major success. And then Dolph Ziggler's asked the question, are you with the Authority? Dolph Ziggler doesn't answer. He just looks at Michael Cole, gives him a super kick, and then he just walks away. And basically what we're doing here is that Dolph Ziggler is not fully fledged to the Authority, but the Authority actually sees a lot of potential with Dolph Ziggler. They're kind of wanting to still mold him. But here's the thing. They're still focused a lot on Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins is the next guy, but they're getting ready to just create this next generation. So while a lot of the interference is going on still with Seth Rollins, like always, the whole thing with Dolph Ziggler is that he's still going out there and he's still proving himself as the best by himself. It just makes absolute sense. I mean, you have basically an experiment here. You have one guy who's having so many people coming in, and you have another heel, who is basically having nobody come in, and he's putting on these 5-star matches. He's doing an amazing job. It just makes the most sense. So, fast forward to the Royal Rumble, and we have the Final 4 actually being Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, and Bray Wyatt. Why? Because I believe that if you're in the Final 4, you should definitely be the 4 people that everybody should look at going into WrestleMania. And of course, it's the writing on the wall right there. You have Roman Reigns, who's going to win the Royal Rumble. You have Bray Wyatt, who's going to be in a big storyline with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, you're going to have Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, we're going to get into that in just a bit. So, of course, Dolph Ziggler comes up short, but he's still saying that, he's the champ, he's still the best. Now he has to deal with this. He has to deal with 2 guys who want his head. That being Eric Rowan and Ryback. Now, we're not going to get quite into the John Cena deal until a little bit later on. John Cena is still more focused on the Authority. He's basically blaming the Authority for Dolph Ziggler's change of heart. He's blaming them for making him this person. But Ryback and Eric Rowan, they're saying no, he did it for himself. He said it himself. So we're going to just beat the living hell out of him. So we have an Intercontinental Championship matchup between Eric Rowan and Dolph Ziggler on a SmackDown, in which Dolph Ziggler does indeed come out victorious. And Eric Rowan doesn't really get too much anywhere until teaming up with Luke Harper a little bit later on. But we also get to see Ryback versus Dolph Ziggler at the Fastlane event for the IC title, in which Dolph Ziggler actually gets really close to losing the title